Hello, I'm Daryl, and this is Programming in Any Language. We're working with C# right now, but the principles are the same in all languages. Master these principles, and you can easily jump to any other language quickly. Now the math piece. But to make this application look more attractive to the user, we could use graphics on our buttons. To do this, we need to find some attractive graphics, copy them, and place them as our background on our buttons. Let's take a look at how we would do this. Now that we're generating numbers in our two input fields here, it's time to think about doing the math piece. We just get that part working. And we're going to do that with a series of buttons on the side here. I'd like to create an add, a subtract, multiply, and divide button on the side here, but I'd like to use graphics to do it. The first thing we're going to do, though, is I'm going to grab a button and actually put it on the screen here. And it's probably going to be looking a little more square like this, something of that nature. And then I'd like to actually paste it on there. I'm going to just leave the one button there right now because what I want to do is I want to get some graphics for this thing. And so to do that, I'm going to have to use Google. So I'll jump to Google and I'll basically create a brand new, so let's bring a browser down here. And let's go ahead and say we want math symbols. M-A-T-H symbols. And get that. Let's just do that thing. We want an image worth of looking, so I'm going to grab this right here and kind of do that. And I'm going to scroll down to see something. You can pick any one of these that you like, but I'd like to have the black ones that are the same shape, color, things of that nature. So I'll scroll on down until I find something that's worthwhile. You can make them kind of funky if you want. These would do. You know, these things right here might be nice. But I got my mind, I want black, so I'm looking at this is not bad. This looks pretty good too. If I just grab this thing and open it up, what do I get? I get this. Okay, this is reasonable. Maybe something like this. That's not bad. Now I got to scan these things in. Is what I need to do. I need to take a picture of them so I actually have them. So I happen to have a little tool. You can use any kind of tool you want, basically. I happen to have something called Snagit. I've been using that since about 2005 or so. It kind of looks like this. And I'm going to grab it and do a capture. And it's going to come up here and allow me to make a capture of this plus sign right here. And I'm going to kind of keep track of how big I'm making this because I want to make these the same size basically going forward. So I'm going to kind of use my arrow keys to go up a little bit and get that portion right in there. And then I'm going to use this over here to get the side, bring it in a little bit. And then I'm going to kind of go down here and see what I've got. And it looks like I'm in pretty good shape. I'd like to have it almost square. So I'd like to kind of bring this down a little bit to maybe 196 by 196. That's about right. So I'm going to capture that. I'm going to put down 196 on a piece of paper. Take a picture of this. And bang, I've got it. It comes up with my little board. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to save this. While save as, I'm going to put it inside the same place that I've got my, that I have my program running, which is out in what I'm calling it is flashcard application in the flashcard demo place right here. And we're going to call it, I'll call this one add, just so I know what it is. Add.png. Do a save on it, and it's there. Now I'm just going to go back to my capture again, and I'm going to grab the minus sign. And I can use the plus to help me there, so I'll kind of put it at the start of where that plus is again. So it's like that. And I want to bring my minus over there. Now I'm going to kind of cycle down, so I've got 196 by 196. I can do that by dropping this thing down and dropping this one down. And I'm about there. It looks like 196 by 196. I'll capture that. I'll take a picture of it. And save that one as subtract. And do a save. Now let's go get that division sign. Same concept. I'm going to kind of line up with the plus sign up on top there, so I've got the same area that I'm looking at. Looks about right here where I am. And I want to come down. I'm going to come down to about, I can use that time sign on the side there to kind of make it right. Looks like I'm right about there. Oh, almost too much. I'm getting a little bit of that thing is missing there. I'll come up a little bit. come down, and then let's see if we get that 196 by 196 again. So we're going to kind of go down a little bit. And I don't like the way this one's looking. It's almost looking terrible. So let's go ahead and cancel that one and try that again. I'll do the capture again. This time I'm going to try and go up, maybe a little higher than it is. Maybe like that. Bring it in to the plus sign and roughly there. Now let's go down and capture it, and now let's get our 196 by 196. Oops, go in a little bit and up. There's that. Okay, we got the divide sign now. Save that one as divide. Call this one divide. Keep it the same place. And now I'm going to do one more thing, and that's of course to capture the remaining piece of the time sign. And that I think we can kind of line up here just by going like this and like this. And I think it's going to be equal to the plus sign in size. Maybe not. Actually, when I look at it, probably not. Need to go up a little bit, out a little bit. Yeah, use that minus sign as a guide. This thing as a guide, and then kind of go down and get our 196 by 196. Oops, going the wrong way here. Bring it up. Not bad. Pick it up. Got it. Okay, so that's done. Hey, and I'll save that one. And that was multiply. Or times, whatever you want to call it. I'll say multiply. And save that guy. So now I've got the graphics there, and I can blow this away, and I can blow this thing away, and I can even blow this thing away. I don't need it anymore. So we did our little search. Now I've got my button here. What I'd like to do is kind of size it so it's square. As you can see right now, it's 50 by 30. Yeah, let's make it 50 by 50 and see what we get. And that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, maybe it's even too big. What are we doing on the size here? We got a 38 as the size here. Let's make it 38 by 38, so it's the same size as that little thing right there. So we'll change this. Go ahead and click this on. We'll get both sides here. We'll make it 38 by 38. And that kind of makes a nice square. Now we're going to go to the properties in this thing, and we're going to go ahead and bring in the background image. So I'm going to jump up here where we got background image, and just go click on this thing right here, and I'm going to say I want to import this from a local source, and I say import, and it's got it. So I'm going to just navigate to that that application where I happen to be in, which we know is flashcard demo. Yeah, that's it right here. This is it. So we'll take the plus sign and grab it and open it and say okay to it. Well, we don't see anything there right now, but we may need to tile it a little bit or do something with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here and we're going to go to the layout and we're going to stretch it. And we still don't see, you see it there, but the button 1 is still showing behind there. So we're going to go down below and we're going to get rid of button 1 and just delete this wording on here. And now we have a full button saying the plus is showing there. Are there any other properties we need to change in this guy? Well, yes, there is. For starters, we want to give it a name. We'll call this guy button add. We're going to use it in code. But I also want to change its enabled property, which is down here. So it's not enabled. I don't want to be able to click on it. We're going to say that it's false right there. I don't want it to be active unless I have 2 numbers in here to make that thing work. So it's going to be an inactive button initially. So with that in place, let's just take a look and see how it looks. Do a save all here, and we'll do a start. And that looks pretty good. We can't click on it right now because it's not enabled. You can see these have a blue stripe around. This doesn't. So it's not enabled. So we're in good shape there. So let's kill this. And let's make 3 copies of this guy. Do a Control C. And we'll do 1, 2, 3. Make 3 copies, put them right next to this guy a little bit. And all we have to do now is give these guys names and give them a different graphic. So we'd like to put the negative, the minus sign here. So we'll go to our properties, and we will go ahead and import a local resource. That'll be the negative sign. Hit OK on that. That's looking good. Grab this guy, change the properties, do an import. We'll make it multiply and say OK. And finally, we'll take this last one and go to its property and import the divide sign, which is right here. And that looks pretty decent. Okay, great. To make sure they're all nicely evened out, I'm going to go ahead and, oops, we got too many things there. Kind of highlight all these guys, and I'm going to do a format, make, let's see, we're going to, horizontal spacing is going to be made equal. It now is, and we're going to format and align their actually, let's take all these guys. Actually, I want this one to be the first one, so we'll click on that. And I'm going to say format and align their middles. And that puts them all in a nice lineup shape there. So that's good. Do a save on this thing and we're set to go. So we've got the thing in place. Now what happens when we run it? We run this program. We can literally type in, let's say, a 10 in here to make give us that thing. And what that's going to do, if we hit start, it's going to give us 5 and 3. At that point, we want to enable these buttons. So when our start button clicks in, we want to enable things. So what we need to do is we need to look at what our start button might be able to do. And that might be to make some changes here. So let's go ahead and end this thing because we can't do anything here. And let's go to our start button and see what our code looks like. There it is. What we'd like to do right here is enable the math buttons. So we're going to go ahead and right under this, just click and give ourselves some code here, or if we don't need this output button right here that's showing us anything, we're going to put in here, let's enable operation buttons. And we do that by simply saying that, oh, I have to name them all. Let's go and name them all real quickly. This is button add. We did that already, so we're safe there. Button subtract. We'll call this BTN subtract. And we'll try to even spell it right. We'll make this one button multiply. BTN multiply. And finally, BTN divide. BTN. And now we can go in there and actually go to our start button and finish this guy up by simply saying that BTN add.enabled is equal to true. Semicolon. Oops, get a minus sign there, equals true. And BTN subtract. Enables true. BTN multiply. And BTN divide. I love the way it helps you. The sense it helps you. Now we're going to be able to basically, I'm going to hit enter on this thing, and I'll do a save. And we'll see what we've got so far. What's happening now, take a close look at these buttons when we do it. We're going to put a 10 in here, and we're going to go ahead and hit start. Once you do that, these buttons become active, as you can see, and we're ready to go. What we should do, though, is do a little more cleanup on this and give our user a little bit more direction. So to do that, I would like to basically make this entire line disappear and replace it with the word press the operation button, display an answer, maybe put an operation button up here and put operations up on top here. So we got a little bit of cleanup to do here. So let's go ahead and exit this thing and kind of take our form here, and let's grab this, do a Control C and put it up here, and let's just change the words in this thing to say operation. We can do that right here. We can do it right down below and just say operations. Enter on that. Come up here. Why didn't that change? It did. It just took a while, apparently. Apparently it just took a while. Okay. And we'll go ahead and move it up to the top here, maybe like this. And I want to create this word here. So I'm going to do another Control C and a Control V. And I'm going to say press continue for a new set of numbers, and leave it like that. That puts that in place. We can kind of put that in the center right here like this, and then I want to take my start button and I want to erase these guys right here. So let's go ahead and do that before we do any math work. So we've got this thing is called, doesn't have a label. We need to give it a label. So we'll grab this guy right here and we'll give it a label so we can refer to it in code. And I'll call it LBL max number. Label max number is kind of telling us it's a label that goes in front of max number. This guy is going to be text max number. He already is text max number. And this is button start. So we've got all that. So that puts our buttons in place and it gets us a start in controlling how the application works for the user. Once that start button has been used, it's not needed anymore. Get it off the form. We don't need it. Let's remove it. Okay, let's make that start button and now this entire line disappear. We'll go into that start code right here. We'll drop down underneath here and we'll have maybe a little comment again telling us what we're doing, and that is basically removing start comments and button. And what I'll do there is I'll simply say that LBL, and I think we call it max number. Yeah, right here is the label we're talking about. Dot visible equals false. TXT max number dot visible is equal to false. That'll make that piece disappear. What we got? We still have the start button, right? So we got the btn start dot visible is equal to false. And that will make the start button disappear. So let's see where we are. We'll do a quick file save, do a run, and program starts out, looks good here. We'll put our 10 in there again, do a start, and 8, 7. Okay, these things are there, but they don't do anything just yet. So let's do the math piece. We've got everything in place. And notice our instructions are gone now, so we're into this. We do need a continue button because we're telling it to press a continue for a new set of numbers. But let's go ahead and get the math done first. We'll do that next here. That's looking good. And we are ready to program our math buttons. We'll just simply go up to the add button, double click on it. We've got them named now. And we'll go ahead and say that int answer is equal to int first number plus int second number. Whoops. And we'll send it out to the label answer dot text is equal to int answer to string, and that should do that for us. So that puts that in place. Now we'll do the same thing with the with multiply, and we can do a copy paste here. I'm just popping it in. We'll subtract, and we'll do a minus sign here. We'll go to the multiply, which is right here, and do a paste. Change the sign to a multiply, asterisk, and then go to our divide sign and pop that in here and change this to a backslash, and that'll get us that. Now we should be functional. So let's give this a shot. Save all. Start. We can put our 10 in. Hit start. And we get 2 plus 2. Let's see if plus works. That works fine. Does it work as a minus? That does. Times works. And divide gives us 1. So that's working just fine.
It's working. Well, sort of. I would call this the alpha version. We still need to do some cleanup, and we need to make sure that this is ready for our users. There are still some issues with math, and there may be some issues with program crashing. Really? Sure, we need to test our form. We need to test this thing. Find out the worst cases and see if this program gets past them. But we'll do that next time. What you need to take out of this video is 1. How to create graphics and add them to your objects. 2. How to make things disappear when you don't need them anymore. 3. How why enable is used. This thing is nearing completion, so we'll have a great application that we can distribute to our users. See you next time. Thanks for watching. If you get the chance, please subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.